Coming up on Locked On NBA Daily. The Knicks are up 2-0, but is there still an adjustment that can save the Spurs? Then the latest Giannis rumors have one team separating from the pack. And finally, what are Giannis, KD, and the Thunder texting right now? Locked On NBA Daily starts now.
You are Locked On NBA, your daily NBA podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to Locked On NBA Daily. I'm Wes Goldberg. That's Moore and Haize. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The biggest stage in world soccer is here. Let there be goals on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com to get started now. We have a ton to get to on this Monday afternoon. We have the latest on Giannis and which team seems to be closing in on a trade. Then we've got a fun segment at the end of the show called NBA Text Snooping that we're going to explain later on. But let's start with the NBA Finals. Game 3 is tonight at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks are up 2-0 and have a chance to close out this series at home this week, while the Spurs showed in the Western Conference Finals that they can win games on the road in a tough environment. To look ahead to the rest of the series, we each prepared our own big questions that we're going to ask the group here. But I want to start with this clip from today's episode of Locked On Knicks.
Where I just really feel like this is a year for us to win this chip. And I felt it from the very start of the season. And I've seen just what the Knicks have done on the road and at home. And I don't think there's any real adjustment but the Spurs can make. Tactical, aesthetic, intellectual, existential, that can affect the Knicks' momentum and their sheer will to win. As you mentioned, man, all of the clip bites, the sound bites at the end of games, the pressers, it's like one linear thought. They all have the same mission. They're all wearing black. They're all bidding up in each other, but not bidding up themselves. I think the perspective is really wise for this team, and it looks like Kobe Shaq in the early 2000s. It looks like the Duncan Spurs in the early 2010s. It looks like the Heatles, right? And it's looked like lately the OKC Thunder and Boston Celtics when they won their championship. So
before I get to my question, guys, if the Knicks do end up winning the championship at the parade, they might just play the last 2 weeks of Locked On Knicks on loop on a big screen, the way that they're celebrating this thing already. But that does bring me to my question. The guy he said early in the clip, XJ's guest there, said that there's really nothing that the Spurs can do at this point to disrupt the Knicks. So that's my big question. Is there an adjustment that the Spurs can make that could flip this series, Haize?
The first one is stop doubling Jalen Brunson. Just stop. You got to live with one-on-one basketball at this point. I think you have to try to stop doubling him to put yourself in a better position defensively. Karl-Anthony Towns is absolutely killing you on both sides of the basketball. I think, at least to start off the game, you have to stop doubling Jalen Brunson as early as what you are and live with one-on-one basketball and try to find your matchups there.
I'm on the other side of this. I think they got to stop giving that switch so easy. You give it to Jillian Champagne, and then all of a sudden you're overreacting because of that. It's better. There's two ideas here. Okay, you can double at the point of attack, or you can send help later. So they're doubling with, like Haize is talking about, they're doubling on the drive because they know that he's going to cook Champagne. And if they don't, he gets to his spot every single time. So don't let him get at that. I hate that these teams do that. I hate this in modern basketball. Everybody's like, well, we're switching 1-4. Nothing to be done. And I'm like, you can't just give him the best matchup every time. I think they should blitz at the level with both guards. Get in scramble mode. You're young. You have athletic, and you got Wembanyama who cuts off 3/4 of the court. Use that. Don't allow them to get Jalen Brunson downhill and Jillian Champagne forcing your help. If Cat beats you, you were never going to win the series. And I think Cat's been amazing. Is awesome. I think he's Finals MVP. But what you can't do is you can't have this where it's like at both games they had momentum, like they were in those games, they had an opportunity, and then Brunson goes on a tear and makes a big shot, does something huge, and then that's like what kills them. So to me, it's like you got to start there. The other thing I think offensively is just slow down. God, this is killing me. Like Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle, they are like minus 33 on the floor together, those two. It's bad. And a big reason is you're in transition. You got Josh Hart in front of you with OG Anunoby behind you, and you're like, I'm young, I'm fast, I jump high. I'll just jump over this old man. And Josh Hart's like, no, you will not. No, you will not. Slow down. Get a good shot. When they work for a good shot, they get one. Do that, trust your process. You got the shooters. You'll be able to get there. But they got to calm down and quit trying to force the issue in transition.
Yeah, I think also, like, when I say also like stop doubling Brunson, I want to see them use more Dylan Harper and Brunson one-on-one on both sides of the basketball. I mean, have him attack Brunson on offense and have him go after Brunson one-on-one on defense. You said talk about Champagne, and I agree there. Like, it's Harper. Like, I get it. Harper hasn't had the best series, but I think that matchup physically could be so difficult for Jalen Brunson to throw off the Knicks offense.
So if they do that, and then they run the screen with Champagne's guy, what do you do?
You let Champagne. If Champagne's guy beat you, then he beat you. But I think you got to put Harper on Brunson.
They're bringing, like, if Brunson's not like, I'm going at Dylan Harper. Brunson's like, come here, Julian, come here. I have more bucks to give you. And that's my question: is if they keep trying to force this 1-3 switch, 1-4 switch, how do you combat that? I think is the real challenge that they're having in the series.
Well, first find success, and if that point, then you go back to doubling them. Like, the whole point here is that I think that it slows down. Like, and if it doesn't, then okay, you go back to what you were doing before.
Brunson's shooting 34% in this series, so it's not exactly like he's lighting up the San Antonio's defense. I think the biggest problem is that they're not getting Victor Wembanyama going in this series, right? Like, you're gonna need more. I was shocked. I looked at the stats this morning. Wemby's actually the leading scorer in this series by points per game.
By how much? Who's the next guy under?
So Wemby's averaging 27.5 points per game. Brunson's right below him at 25. They're the only two players averaging 20, more than 20. But they just need more from Wembanyama, and everything feels so forced for Wemby on offense. And then defensively, they just haven't been able to tap in to superstar level Victor Wembanyama, like defensive player of the year level Victor Wembanyama. He's only a plus 1.5 in this game, or in this series. To me, they got to figure out how to get Wemby offensively. Run your stuff, right? It just feels like they get away from their stuff so much. To your point, Matt, slow down. Run your 45 action, run your Spain, run your regular pick and roll, just run all that stuff. And then defensively, I actually think they need to really consider starting Luke Kornet.
Really?
I think they have to consider it.
You're really high on this idea. I don't know if it's good or bad. I don't think it's crazy.
I actually don't know if it's good or bad either, but you're down 0-2. Time to try stuff.
Do some weird stuff.
Put Kornet on Cat, because Wemby's the only one in the starting lineup that can guard Cat. That's why they're having him guard him. Put Kornet in there, have him just be the body on Cat, so that can't just punish a smaller guy, and then have Wemby play off of Josh Hart and do all the Wemby one-man zone by the rim stuff. And then you can have your defense at least start to fuel your offense a little bit. But that's my big question of the adjustment. Matt, let's go to your big question.
So I think my big question, for this series, actually my biggest question for tonight is going to be, what's this arena going to be like? The president is in attendance. There's already, like, the employees are trying to get into the building at 9 a.m. this morning, and there's already a line down the block because of the security measures that are necessary. They have shut off Madison Square Garden for the watch party for this. It is very likely that the arena will not be full when this game tips off because of how long the necessary security measures take. Then you have all the dynamics of just, like, the tension in the building based off of the game itself, which is like the crowd's going to be hyped. They're going to be amped. But if they struggle, then it becomes like a little bit of like you always win. Just win. We want you to win. Like, we've waited so long for this. The expectations lead to a little bit of tension. And I'm just kind of curious as to how that kind of plays out tonight. That's a very non-basketball thing. But, like, that to me is, like, my big question. And I was like, what's this atmosphere going to be like, and how's that going to play out in what is set to be a very weird game 3?
Fair.
Haize, what's your big question?
I mean, can the Spurs get a damn win? That's the overall question. Honestly, like, we can talk about all the X's and O's part of this, but, like, really, it at this point, it doesn't by any means necessary. You need to find a way to get a win.
You just gotta win.
You just gotta win.
I will say
what the Spurs can do is just play better, right?
Well, shoot better. I mean, so here's like a good one to Wes's point. Wemby's got 8 spot up shots in this series. He's 1 of 8 on spot ups. The Thunder are like, where was this when we were leaving him open? What? Now you can't shoot? He's 3 of 7 in transition, to my point about the transition stuff. Like, but look at this. When they were getting him in pick and rolls, and Nakai's had a great thing on Twitter this morning about how that's worked out in terms of what they need to do to get him going in pick and roll. When he's the ball handler, 1.25 per possession. He's 2 of 4. He's 3 of 5 when he's rolling to the rim in pick and roll. Like, there's all these things that they can do, but they got to get to him. And they're just like, they got to calm down. I just keep coming back to this. It's why I keep defending De'Aaron Fox, is when De'Aaron Fox is on the floor, they get into their sets. And that to me is what they got to do here is stop trying to beat the Knicks with your athleticism. This isn't an old, tired team. The Knicks are fresh. They've played very few games in 2 months because they've killed everyone. You got to stop trying to force the issue in transition.
Stop throwing the ball off of your point guard's back, too.
That would help.
Helpful. That would be
It
helpful.
would help a little bit.
We're going to shift gears here. One team seems to be connected to Giannis more than anybody else. Is that because there's really only one Giannis suitor? We're going to talk about that next. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The biggest stage in world soccer is here, and every match feels like it has the potential for a memorable moment. One goal can completely change the energy of a game, shift momentum, and alter the outcome in an instant. That's what makes tournament soccer so exciting, from the opening whistle to the final kick. And now FanDuel is giving fans another reason to stay locked into every match with every goal pays. Bet on a match and get bonus bets for every goal scored in that match. More goals means more bonus bets. All you have to do is turn on your token. It all starts with group play on June 11th, so start looking at the board now. I'd be looking at those matchups between two high-scoring teams because those games can open up fast. The more chances being created, the more exciting the match becomes from beginning to end. And now you get the benefit from each goal scored. From the opening whistle to the final kick, let there be goals on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com to get started now. Welcome back to Locked On NBA Daily. The best way to support the show is to subscribe on YouTube. We are Monday to Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern, wherever you get your podcast. We also air on the nights of the NBA Finals games. Make sure you check out our Second Screen Experience live streams during the NBA Finals here on YouTube. We've done them for the first two Finals games. We're going to be back for Game 3 tonight. During our last stream, Matt, you decided to make some news when you shared what you were hearing about Giannis. Let's play that clip really quick.
Sure. Well, here's what I will tell you. Much to my alarm, I will say that this is not reported from a Miami side or a Milwaukee side. This is around the league. People around the league are like, yeah, it sounds like Miami's close on Giannis.
Man, I want to ask you about that, and I'll give you a chance to elaborate here in a second. But before you do, I want to point out that since you said that on Friday night, we've also heard reporting that the Heat are the team most consistently connected to Giannis, and we've heard a number of different things like that. So why does the league feel like it's going to be Miami right now?
Because the talks, I think, have reached a level of, oh, this sounds serious. Like, there's a lot of talks that go on that get reported. And like, I will 100% cop to being somebody that will talk about those things that I've heard of, like, they talked about this and it's like, it was never serious, right? You do the best you can with a lot of misinformation and stuff out there. I think that there is a sense around the league of, I think agents are talking. I think that's the big thing here is I think agents are talking, and I think the agents are like, yeah, it sounds like this is actually going to get done. That this is like serious this time. The biggest difference being Milwaukee didn't really engage that much with teams at the deadline. If we go back to the deadline, it's like, oh, they talked to all these teams. Yeah, but all those teams would, like, there were reports that those teams were like, yeah, we talked to them, but it didn't seem like they were actually serious. And then they basically just canvassed, got the best offers, and went away. What I don't know is, like, why the urgency. I don't know if it's because of the draft. I don't know what the urgency is. It sounds like a lot of the suitors theoretically have dropped out. I am a little concerned that the Milwaukee is using Miami here. That Milwaukee is going to be like, okay, this is like, we're going to keep negotiating, raise up the floor, and then be like, all right, Houston, Boston, this is what you got to beat. You got 48 hours, like, and using them that way. But there does seem to be a level of optimism, not just from, and I will also say this, the Heat Media Industrial Complex is always very optimistic about their chances of getting a superstar. But the Heat themselves are always like, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Because they're smart. Really, those are smart guys there that run that team. And it sounds like there's optimism inside the building. And then there's stuff in Milwaukee. The surprising thing to me was that when I checked in from people that are in the orbit of Milwaukee, I will say that I wasn't met with like, nope, not real. They're just doing their due diligence. Just no real. Still hoping Giannis stays. There was like kind of like, yeah, there's serious talks going on with Miami. I don't know where it goes, but that is the feeling around the league right now.
This is the part I keep struggling with is what's the team that's not Miami? Like, what's the other destination that's out there that we've heard like little bits here and there? and I'm not trying to be the homer on this show right now. I'm struggling. What's the other destination?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Wes. Like Miami has 5 tradable first round picks.
3 firsts and then the 2 swaps.
2 swaps. So when you look at the combination of young talent picks, like Miami seems like unless OKC really wants to get in on the Giannis business, it has to be Miami, right? Like what the team is going to have. Like even if Minnesota wanted to get on Giannis, they don't have the picks necessarily the same way Miami does, or the young talent. They have contracts that they can match. The Golden State Warriors have picks that they could be good in the future. They don't have young talent to trade for it. It's Miami. It feels like it's just Miami.
There's no young talent here. There's nothing. It's Kasparas, Yakachonis, and that's it.
They're not including Khalil Ware? They would have to include Khalil Ware, you would think.
This is the idea. I just want to be clear on this. If I'm the Bucks and they're like, we'll even give you Khalil Ware, I'm going to be like, so your coach, who everyone knows is one of the smartest people in the sport, won't play him and routinely benches him and openly talks about how much that guy pisses him off. And you want me to be, whoa, we get Khalil Ware?
It's not about being head over heels about it, but here's my rebuttal to your rebuttal then, Matt. You're the Milwaukee Bucks. You have to either draft or trade for any good piece that you ever have because you've never been a free agent destination, even while Giannis was at his height.
Why isn't Houston in this conversation is what I don't get.
Because Houston doesn't want to be, because they actually value their young talent. They just traded for KD. They're not going to trade.
I'm not convinced on that point. I think that there is disagreement.
You also aren't convinced that Denny is an all-star, and in fact, he was literally an all-star this year.
He was, in fact, an all-star. I think, so one of the things here, I think this is an interesting question, Wes, because there was early talk of the process about Minnesota being the team.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the Wolves got eliminated, there was immediate talk of, and I heard this 2 weeks ago, that they were aggressively canvassing. What was the phrase? Oh, aggressively taking calls, which is something I was like, what do you mean? I was like, are you aggressively
picking up the phone really fast?
Yeah.
Open, is that what's happened?
And so, but they were looking for Randall, Nas, and Rudy Gobert. And that combination, now I think there's reasons to move off of Rudy, but like one of the reasons you do this is if you're talking to Milwaukee, and Milwaukee's like, there's no reason for us to take Rudy. That doesn't do anything for us. Like even as a retrade asset, it's only going to depreciate. You got to go get something for him now. But if you trade him, and I would be saying the same thing if I was Milwaukee to Miami, is I would be like, you go peddle Tyler Hero somewhere else. Whatever you get for Tyler Hero, we'll take that. Find someone that wants Tyler, and we'll take that. Take whatever's left.
I push back on the Hero thing because I do think that you could just bring him in, let him pad his stats for a year, and then Michael Porter Jr. him. Start opening up the trade calls at the deadline. Where
he'll be nothing but shots to take in Milwaukee. At that
coming off that injury year and his surgery.
He's a local kid,
yeah.
So I get that part of it.
Let him average 25 a game until February, and then flip him then.
I am very concerned that it's like you're gonna trade for Tyler Hero, and he's gonna have a great season, and you're gonna be like, well, he's too good for us to move off of.
He's not a bad player. You could do a lot worse than having Tyler Hero on your roster. He's a good player.
Is this really yourself for getting Giannis? You could do worse.
But that's sort of my point. This
is the Miami thing right now. So this is exactly like the Dame thing, where Miami Heat media is going on this thing of like we got to get.
I'm
Giannis,
asking you to talk me out of it because I know what it sounds like.
Yeah,
tell me what the destination is. I can't find it. Minnesota doesn't work. It doesn't work. You're talking about trading 3 core players for 1. It doesn't work.
No, not 3 core. It would only be one of those guys. You get assets back for one of Julius.
You're not getting enough assets back for Randall or who's the other guy? Nas Reed. You're getting enough back to be, and also you have to take Rudy Gobert because you need the contract to match for Giannis, plus another player to move. My
thing is, I think 3-team and 4-team deals work more in this. I think that's one of the reasons. Is I think if you're like, why is Miami the only destination? The biggest, and it's not because you have the best offer. You don't. It's trash. It's because it's an easiest to do a 1-for-1. It's easiest to do a 1-for-1. Now, if you start involving other teams, I think there's other options. Boston, I don't think we should just remove them from the conversation. Houston, I don't think we should just remove them from the conversation.
I mean,
and the Lakers, I don't think we should just remove them from the conversation.
With what assets though? When you're talking about, you may not be high on them, but you got to realize where Milwaukee is. Like, they're literally at the ground floor. You have nothing but to give shots to young players and hope that somebody's going to work out. Like, we can talk about these teams that should be involved, but what do they? We already said that nobody's going to give Luka to the Lakers, and then he was gifted to the Lakers. So you just never know there, right? Like, but it's when you talk about the reality of the deal that's available, the assets that they have back. Who has better? Like, you can name teams that have better assets than Miami, but are they actually interested?
To your point, like, it doesn't matter if the deal is trash. What all that matters is it's the best of the trash deals.
If they're doing the deal. But this is the thing here, is that until Giannis says, guys, I want out, send me to Miami, which he won't do and has continuously not done. Like, they are like resigned to the idea of we're trading him. Like, they're open to, like, yeah, this is our reality. We got to move Giannis. Mm-hmm. But he's not putting enough pressure on him. If you canvass the offer and it's like, what's your best offer? Jaime Jaquez and some picks. You're probably like, I don't know, man. Let's wait and try and figure out something else. Like, I don't think
that's better than taking Rudy Gobert and worse picks.
I agree with that. Look, I agree with that. I'm not saying that, like, the Minnesota offer on the surface right now is better. I'm saying that, like, I think Rudy Gobert generates you more opportunities to get stuff that might be better than what Miami has. Like, Miami has nothing of value.
It just really feels like, Matt, like you don't like Miami's young players, and so you're making an argument against Miami, but not really for anyone else.
And you can't say they have nothing of value. They do have the 3 first-round picks, which Minnesota doesn't have, New York doesn't have, Orlando doesn't have that.
You know how I feel about the 18-year-olds.
But you're in a rebuild. But you don't need nothing but 18-year-olds when you're you literally have time to develop 18-year-olds. That's what they did with Giannis. That's the point of being in a rebuild.
So here's my thing. Is that if I'm trading Giannis here, I am very much like, I have to get one prospect that I'm excited about and the picks. The picks to me are like a given. You're trading Giannis, and I understand that you're like, there's no market, and you're up against it. And this is what the Heat media complex did with Dame, where they're like, you don't have anybody else. So you know what? We don't even have to include Jaime Jaquez and Nikola Jovic. Jovic is too important. That's, by the way, we'll have like the worst contracts in the league right now is Nikola Jovic. Like, it's absolutely, I am unimpressed with the idea of this, where the Heat are like, maybe we don't even have to give you that much for Giannis. I'm like, are you guys desperate for a superstar or not?
All I'm saying, Matt, every time you veer off. If this was make and take it, I would have just watched you in this segment here, bro.
What do you want? Okay, so let me. So you think they should just take the Miami offer and be done?
No, I'm saying that I think that's unless something else presents, that's probably, it's not about just take it or be done. It's probably the best offer that's on the table right now. Realistically, if you want to,
based off of, I don't know that that's true. And here's the other thing, Wes, is like, I don't know that there's, because here's the other thing. I want to be very clear on this, Haize. Do you know what the offer is?
I mean, I don't think any of us know exactly what the offer is.
No,
the offer
that's my point. Together. What if Miami's like, oh, we're not going to give you 5 picks. We'll give you 2.
Right. Yeah, but the potential, they still have more to offer, and they could very well do that, because guess what? No other team can offer the 3 picks, so they could try to talk them down.
For you, you're excited about like Khalil Ware, Tyler Hero.
It's not about being excited. It's about what is the best path for the Milwaukee Bucks. They are going to complete rebuild. You have nothing but opportunity to give young players shots to see if they can sink or swim. You can't do that with Miami because they want to win. So Khalil Ware could very well work it out, because now he's in a situation where all your lumps and bruises, you're going to be out there on the court. You're going to have to figure it out. Jaime Jaquez in the running should have probably been 6th man of the year this year. Can you take it another step further? For Milwaukee Bucks, a team that always has to either trade or draft their young talent, and you're going into, there is no building from the middle. When you trade Giannis, you are starting from the ground floor. So you might as well take those players that have shown something and see if you can turn them into something while also getting picks.
I think you can build from the middle. I think especially now with the CBA, I think you can build from the middle. I think you can do that.
You have to be in the middle. If they trade Giannis, they're not in the middle.
Well, that's the thing though, is if you trade Giannis and you find a destination that you're going to actually be able to get back assets that allow you to be in the middle. And again, I'm talking about a 3-team, 4-team trade where this kind of actually makes sense. I do think there's a pathway here of getting like, you have like, because here's the other thing. I don't know how much they can tear down this summer. It's going to take them probably multiple years to get rid of some of these contracts on this, right? Like, they can't clear the books this summer, I don't think.
No, and they still have the Damian Lillard dead money.
They have the dead money for Dame. They've got Miles Turner. They got Kyle Kuzma. They've got this kind of stuff. So
Kyle Kuzma's he's unrestricted at the end of the next season. So
it's not walk away from him. You could probably flip Turner Maybe. Oh, maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, this is the other thing is like Miami's
Turner was
Miami's-
hit or miss last season.
Miami's probably not taking back any of the bad money here either.
They can't. They don't have the salary to match for it.
That's a problem.
They could have done it if the Bucks just got off their behinds at the trade deadline. But this is my point about Giannis all the time. Like they played the Giannis game. They said we're not gonna trade him. We're not gonna trade him. We're not gonna trade him. And then you got to a situation where you had to trade him, and the risk reward was what it was, right? The reward was, it looks like he's on his way out, but we're gonna try to play it out like last summer. We're gonna try to sell him on Ryan Rollins and in this group. And this is what happens when you play out the string to the very end. You're just not going to get awesome value for him. If you traded him 2 years ago, you would have gotten better value. I understand not doing that.
Do you think if Milwaukee would have made Giannis like truly available, do you think Houston would have traded for Giannis instead of KD last year? Because I think so. And I think 100%. They would have put in more picks in a case like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. They would have gone all in.
And that's the risk reward. So I'm not going to feel bad for Milwaukee getting lousy offers for Giannis, because this is what happens.
God, is there like a newsletter where you guys are staying talking?
Whether it's from Miami or elsewhere,
this exact same thing yesterday. You guys are on a talking points memo list. I'm not going to feel bad for Milwaukee for them overplay. That's exactly what I heard from someone else.
We have to move on. What is Giannis texting? What is Giannis texting his agent after the reports? We're going to talk about that next.
I carry a lot of responsibility in my household. If something happened to me, there would be serious consequences. We have a mortgage. We got tuition. We got everyday bills. Those aren't going anywhere if something happens to me. And I know that's an overwhelming feeling, but I'm taking steps to protect my family by getting life insurance through Ethos. Ethos makes getting life insurance fast, easy, and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. There's no medical exam. You just answer a few simple health questions. You can get up to $3 million in coverage. Some policies are as low as $30 a month. And as of March 2025, Business Insider named Ethos the #1 no medical exam instant life insurance provider. Ethos has 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot with over 3,000 reviews. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos now by going to ethos.com/LocdownNBA. In as little as 10 minutes, you can get your free quote and up to $3 million in coverage at ethos.com/LocdownNBA. That's ethos.com/LocdownNBA. Ethos.com/LocdownNBA. Application times and rates may vary.
Today's episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. There are certain flavors that instantly feel like summer, and for a lot of people, those classic red, white, and blue freezer pops are right at the top of that list. Sweet cherry, lime, blue raspberry, it's one of those nostalgic summer flavors that everybody recognizes. Now, 5 Hour Energy is bringing that flavor combination into the new Firework Freeze 5 Hour Energy shot, blending sweet cherry, zesty lime, and electric blue raspberry into one refreshing shot inspired by those iconic summer freezer pops. Most energy drinks kind of just blur together after a while, but this one really stands out because it actually feels fun and familiar. The cherry, lime, and blue raspberry combo really does taste like summer. This is something that you're going to look forward to drinking as opposed to just guzzling it down in the middle of your day. Ignite your taste buds with the flavor of summer. Get a Firework Freeze 5 Hour Energy shot today. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com. Welcome back to Locked On NBA Daily. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine and making the Locked On Podcast Network your first listen every day. Make sure you come back to Locked On NBA tonight for our live stream of Game 3 of the NBA Finals. We went long in the last segment, so we got to do this one pretty quickly. This is going to be a game that we are going to call NBA Text Snooping, where we check in on some fake texts that NBA stars are sending. We were just talking about Giannis. Haize, what is Giannis texting his agent today after these latest rumors? Muted, Haize.
You're muted.
Sorry. Giannis is probably texting his agent, what winning team can I go to? Like, who's really interested and where's a legitimate destination I can go and win the title?
Matt?
He's texting, they're not trading Jaime Jaquez, are they? That's what he's texting.
Remember when Kobe did that for Luau Deng? Remember when he didn't want to get traded to the Bulls because they had to give up Luau? Crazy.
By the way, what are they going to have left? Like, how are they going to they're going to fill out this roster with like minimums?
Luol Deng was a great teammate. Are you talking about the Miami Heat roster?
Yeah.
They have a $15 million mid-level exception that they can use after they make the Giannis trade.
Okay. I'm just kind of wondering.
Resign Norm Powell. Resign Andrew Wiggins.
Oof. That's a oof. Okay.
Mitchell, Powell, Wiggs, Giannis, Bam. That's not a bad starting five. plus somebody
Wow,
with the mid
not a
level.
bad starting five. Get excited, Giannis. Ooh.
I mean, to his credit though, Matt, they've won a lot with less.
Powell was an all-star last year, fringe all-star, but an all-star nonetheless.
yeah, he was good.
Good shooter. Wiggins is a 40%
He's also
three-point shooter.
probably. I mean, I don't know. I guess he's texting. Wasn't there a report like he bought? No, he was reported he was in Miami. He's probably just texting his agent about like beachfront property in Miami.
Yeah, there was photos of him in Miami. It was apparently related to stuff about the World Cup, but whatever. He's texting, great job so far, agent. Just make sure that we never leak my list of preferred destinations. We want to keep it looking that he actually never wanted to leave Milwaukee in the first place.
Yeah.
What is the Thunder's group chat saying right now, Haize?
Man, we wouldn't be down 0-2.
Yeah. Matt?
That's the best one. That's the best one. I think it's gonna be like, how do we lose to these kids?
Yeah.
You look at like how New York has shut off their transition stuff and kept them out, how New York has bullied them physically. Like, I think the other text is probably, we got to get in the weight room.
How many picks do we have to include to trade Chet to Cat for Cat?
Oh, that's mean.
And Chet's in the group text.
Oh,
very sad. Last one. What is Kevin Durant texting and to who? Haize.
First of all, he's not texting, he's tweeting, and he's preparing a tweet saying, hey, it sure would be crazy if the Houston Rockets traded Alfred Sengun, right?
It's a burner account.
Yeah, it's another burner account. That's what he's doing.
Matt.
Texting reporters trying to drum up trade rumors for all of his young guys that he wants to get rid of.
I have him texting Kyrie asking if Dallas would be open to trading for him.
They wanted to play together in Phoenix. Those guys are still tight. That would be really funny.
Durant spacing the floor for Cooper Flag. I don't hate it.
That'd be really funny. Kyrie, Amen.
No, you're keeping Kyrie.
Wait, you're saying
Oh, you're saying KD.
KD go to Dallas?
KD go to Dallas with Kyrie and Cooper Flag. It's like a PJ Washington plus Gafford contract deal. I don't know. I have no idea, but I don't know how it works, but I think Durant is texting Kyrie and asking about
That's
it.
good stuff. I kind of like that idea. That's a good idea, Wes.
Thank you. If you like what you heard today, subscribe to Locked On NBA Daily wherever you get your podcasts, including on YouTube. Thank you to Matt and Haize for their expertise every day. Thank you for making the Locked On Podcast Network your first listen. We'll see you back here tonight for our NBA Finals Game 3 live stream and tomorrow for another episode of Locked On NBA Daily.